Well, lawmakers are taking aim at a controversial report in the New York Times. It says al-Qaeda was not involved in that 2012 Benghazi attack that left 4 Americans dead, including U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens. Now, Republican Mike Rogers insists that is just not true.
There was aspiration to conduct an attack by al-Qaeda and their affiliates in Libya. We know that. The individuals on the ground talked about a planned tactical movement on the compound.
Now, Republicans have long claimed this attack was planned for the anniversary of 9/11. And even some Democrats are taking issue with this New York Times report.
The intelligence indicates that al-Qaeda was involved, but there were also plenty of people and militias that were unaffiliated with al-Qaeda that were involved.
So this investigation still continuing, the Times placing most of the blame with an anti-Muslim video, but says the initial claims by the White House, well, those weren't exactly right either.
Meanwhile, lawmakers are firing back over Benghazi. In a blockbuster new report, the New York Times says al-Qaeda was not behind the brazen attack that killed 4 Americans, including the U.S. ambassador last year. This report contradicts what many have claimed about the attack, both in Congress and at the White House. CNN's Jill Doherty is at the State Department. What's the latest here, Jill?
Well, John, you know, this controversy has been boiling for more than a year, and now this New York Times report has sparked another round of accusations from the GOP. The New York Times investigation calls into question claims made by both Republicans and the White House about what happened in Libya on September 11th a year ago. The newspaper finds fault with the Republican case, saying there's no evidence that al-Qaeda had any role, that local militias and looters were to blame, that an anti-Muslim video did play a role motivating the attackers, at least in part, and that the attack was not meticulously planned, but neither was it spontaneous nor without warning signs. A top Republican insists the intelligence shows al-Qaeda was involved.
There was aspiration to conduct an attack by al-Qaeda and their affiliates in Libya. We know that. The individuals on the ground talked about a planned tactical movement on the compound.
The top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee agrees, but says it's a complex picture.
The intelligence indicates that al-Qaeda was involved, but there were also plenty of people and militias that were unaffiliated with al-Qaeda that were involved.
The Times also says, however, it was not a copycat of street protests in Egypt against the American-made anti-Muslim video, as then UN Ambassador Susan Rice suggested on Sunday talk shows.
Our current assessment is that what happened in Benghazi was, in fact, initially a spontaneous reaction to what had just transpired hours before in Cairo.
The Obama White House isn't commenting or disputing the Times report, which notably does not mention then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
What difference at this point does it make?
But former White House National Security spokesman Tommy Vietor blasted Republican demands for Benghazi hearings and for their claims that the Obama administration was lying, tweeting they were wrong, and we could have avoided months of disgusting demagoguery. This report uses the word murky, saying that it's not the black and white picture that was depicted either by Republicans or by the White House. And of course, that only guarantees that this controversy is just going to keep going. Michaela?
Further complicating an already complex issue. Jill, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.